Hey everybody, it's GauntletX, and welcome back to another premiere draft of Pioneer Masters, this time with the Devotion bonus sheet added to the set. The coolest bonus sheet in my opinion because it has all of the original Theros, Born of the Gods, and Journey into Nyx gods in the bonus sheet, so it's possible to end up drafting some of those OG gods that are really cool cards to collect for Brawl, and hopefully, fingers crossed, eventually Commander on Arena, so spicy stuff in this bonus sheet, and I'm pretty excited to get into it. So without further ado, let's get into our pack one, pick one here. We have a very reasonable pack with multiple great directions to go. The Sylvan Caryatid is going to be great in any green deck, particularly good in like 5-color gates, but excellent for anything. So I think we can start with that as a really flexible option. But if we want to just go straight into an aggro deck, the Phalanx Leader is incredible for Boros Heroic and nice for Devotion cards because it's got 2 white mana in the cost. The Rimrock Knight is great for red aggro, and the Seed Guardian is another really solid green card that can fit into pretty much any green deck, replacing itself with another creature when it dies. So really nice stuff out of that pack overall. For pick number 2, we have Obnoxious's Cruelty and Wild Slash and Stasis Snare. 3 different really good, really efficient removal spells. The Obnoxious's Cruelty and Wild Slash are a little bit easier to cast, a little bit easier to splash, because they only require 1 mana of their color. So I think they're slightly more flexible cards. So I kind of want to go for the Obnoxiosus Cruelty here. It is a really nice way to meet in the middle between these two, where the card has flexibility in terms of how easy it is to splash and cast, while also being able to kill most creatures, -5/-5, and exile the card. Slash is like the most efficient and the most flexible, but it only kills 2 toughness or less cards, or you have to use it during combat. Whereas the Stasis Snare can get rid of pretty much anything, but it's double white, so it's the most restrictive of everything. I'm just going to go kind of open here with the Obnoxiosus Cruelty. Pick number 3. Not super excited about this pack. The Keepsake Gorgon is pretty strong. 7 mana is a lot, but if you make it there, and the Gorgon itself does help you make it there. I mean, a 2/5 Death Toucher is hard to attack through because it can just eat some of your creatures without even dying, so that's pretty gross. Because, yeah, it just helps make you to the 7 mana, and when you get there, you're blowing up whatever you need to blow up while still keeping your 3/6 Death Touch on the board at that point. Could actually be pretty nice here off of the black, and I believe this is one of the new cards, probably from the Devotion bonus sheet, just for the double black pips here. Maybe not. Maybe I've just been unlucky and haven't seen it around. I know Slumgar Sorcerers from the blue Devotion bonus sheet. Pretty cool, flexible counterspell. But it's pretty off from the path that we're on right now. We could just take a Priest of the Bloodright, be pretty happy with that. Pretty deep into black here with multiple really nice potential 2-for-1s like the Gorgon and the Priest. Priest, of course, being 2 creatures off the 1 spell, but you do want to trade off or chump block with the Priest ASAP because it makes you lose life every turn. Pick 5, Unflinching Courage. Probably one of the strongest reasons to try to be green-white, but we're so much deeper into black than green here. So maybe stick to that. Choose our secondary color later. We can take Evolving Wilds for really flexible fixing whatever we play, or we can just really lock in on black, taking more cards from the brand new Devotion bonus sheet with the Disciple of Phoenix. This can potentially rip your opponent's best card out of their hand and give you a 1/3 body. Because you look at cards equal to your Devotion to black, which is at least 2, because this gives you 2 Devotion to black with those 2 black symbols, and then make them discard one of the cards they revealed. So right now, we're like at a really good start for just having a hefty black Devotion. Actually be kind of sweet to open up like an Erebos? I think Erebos is the mono black god here. But anyways, for pick 6, Eidolon is quite mediocre. Read the Bones is fine card draw for like a more controlling black deck, which looks like the spot we're at. And I don't think any of the cards are powerful enough, again, to be pushing towards another color, maybe Extricator, but just take a Read the Bones. For pick 7, Witch's Mark is great card draw for really aggressive decks. Gust of Wind is excellent bounce in any deck with flyers, but those are both heading in somewhat different directions than we're at right now. I think Slumgar Butcher is just bad. There are not a lot of really good expendable creatures. Could just speculate on a guild gate here if the gates are going to keep going late enough. Not super pumped about that. Yeah, I feel like I'm so deep into black, I'm really unlikely to be some 3-4 color splashy deck. Just take a random gust of wind. Pick 8 Rimrock Knight. Maybe we do get to go for more aggressive build. Again, I still feel like a lot of these cards play better in control, so we can definitely lead towards Possessed Scab. I just think Rimrock Knight's one of the best aggro commons in the set. A 2-mana 3/1 is a good body for an aggressive deck, and it can trigger Heroic and get extra damage in before you do that, which is just really sweet. And there's a hero here as well. But I mean, pick 8 Possessed Scab is also a sign that we can just continue down the more controlling black direction here and just go blue-black control. Yeah. Take the Possessed Scab, stick to what we've got here. Another gust of wind, and then try to make sure we get some flyers. Archaeomancer is fine, but Possessed Scab is a lot better, so if we can wheel some Possessed Scabs, we can just keep playing those. It's just more flexible than Archaeomancer, and bigger. It costs 1 more mana, but for that 1 more mana, you get a 3/2 instead of a 1/2, and you can pick up creatures from your grave if you need. So I feel like Archaeomancer is a little bit of a miss from the bonus sheet. Pick 10, Evolving Wilds now over Ingenious Scab. Pick 11. Pretty nonsense pack. We'll just take some nonsense finisher. If I don't manage to find any other ways to end the game. Double Gust of Wind does play pretty well with a blue-white flyers kind of Sky Knight deck. I doubt I get completely cut off of black, but if blue-white is really open, like a pick 12 Sky Knight might say, then it can be a powerful archetype to go for. I'll just rare draft this thing. I don't even know what it does, but get in the sideboard. I think it's something to do with dragons. Okay, pack 2, pick 1. We have Woodland Wanderer. Play 1 forest and some random green guild gates to go with our Evolving Wilds, and now we have a 4-mana 5/5 Vigilance Trample off the splash. Sure. The best cards for what we're currently doing are Solendi Vision and Disciple of Phoenix, and I just don't think those are super high picks, so we'll get a little speculative again with the Woodland Wanderer, similar to some of our early speculative picks. Pick 2, Fiendslayer Paladin's a really sweet one from the Devotion bonus sheet. First strike, lifelink, cannot be killed by black and red removal spells. Pretty gross. But obviously, we're not playing white here. I just thought I'd mention one of the cooler new bonus sheet cards. We'll take the ultimate price here. Great removal in our main color. Pick 3, Treasure Cruise is excellent with a bunch of efficient instants and sorceries to fill your graveyard with. I do wish the Read the Bones Surveilled instead of Scrying. That would make the Treasure Cruise super viable here, but it'll still be pretty good. Pick 4. Okay, Archaeologist helps fill the grave a lot for Treasure Cruise, and it's a good way to slow more aggressive decks down by blocking early and picking us up a card. I think it's probably better than Undead Butler in these more controlling decks because we're just not going to have that many creatures in our grave, even if we do mill the 3 with the Butler. We'll take the Archaeologist. Butler's certainly better for like the grindier, like more heavy into green decks that do a lot of self-mill, but Archaeologist better in the more controlling ones. Pick 5. Here's the Guild Gate. Cheap flyer, a second Treasure Cruise, and a big Kraken finisher would all be fine, but take the fixing. Get our mana to be more consistent. Could run 1,000,000 copies of Gust of Wind, so that's if I do actually scoop up some of those Zephyr Winder kind of filler flyers, we've got really efficient removal. I don't think I want to do that. I'd probably rather just take an Archaeomancer here, or even another Read the Bones might be okay. Got the Treasure Cruise, though. I like that a lot better. If I can get just like a second copy of Treasure Cruise, that'll fill the same role. Pick 7. Supernatural Stamina is very cute with Disciple of Phoenix, but also very narrow in a deck with a lower creature count like ours will be. And it doesn't work with Possessed Scab at all. It is really nice with Archaeomancer and Disciple, but again, it's going to be like a combo with like 3 of our creatures. I guess 4 of them. But we're just not going to have that many creatures in the first place, so I'll grab another Evolving Wilds. Pick 8. I like this Lundy Vision quite a bit. It's going to give us an 18th land while still giving us 23 spells in our deck to make sure we're hitting all of our lands on curve more consistently. It's also really good with the Archaeologist. It adds to the flexibility of that card where if you're stuck on mana, you might be able to mill something like a Slundy Vision and still draw your land for turn, play that as a land. So yeah, we'll take another one. Pick 10. Not very into this pack. Random Flyer, I suppose, makes the Gust of Winds a little better. Pick 11. Just rare draft an uncommon. Pick 12. Skirmisher. Just trade off into some small creature from our opponent and hopefully recast it again later with the Embalm. This is just a really solid, really consistent looking pile of cards here. And our third pack just gets to go towards improving this. I think I just want some more good, efficient removal more than anything. And unfortunately, we did not open up any. The Gatekeepers were incredibly far from being able to use that well. Rescue from the Underworld can be cute, but I don't think we have any really good synergies for it. The ideal thing is like you sack a creature with a good enters effect and then pick up that as well as like a big scary creature, but we don't have a bunch of self-mill and we don't have a big scary creature to reanimate. We've got the creatures that are decent to sack, like Archaeomancer, Disciple. But yeah, this is awkward. Maybe we just take a Dreadboard towards splashing that instead of Woodland Wanderer, getting some Dreadboards in the deck. Sphinx of Magosi, pretty hard to cast, but Card Engine that does kind of win you the game. I guess I can go for that as well. Yeah, because then if we get past another Woodland Wanderer, we can still splash green instead of red. Okay, sure. 1 forest, 2 Evolving Wilds, let's go. Okay. Dreadhound is an okay finisher. Or there's another Archaeomancer, another Gust of Wind. Take a Dreadhound. Slundy Vision, Disciple, Undead Butler looking fine here. 2 visions already. Let's grab another Disciple. Pick 5, there we go. Needed more efficient interaction, and I will take that here, the ultimate price. As much as I love Possessed Scab, I do kind of have 2 copies of Scab and an Archaeomancer here, and I really need more of the cheap removal spells. We currently just have ultimate price and Omnix's Cruelty. Gotta up those numbers. Those are some rookie numbers in this bracket. Now we've got Read the Bones. Digging through the deck. Sure. Consider or Simic Guildgate towards the Wanderer. We'll take the Simic Guildgate. Pick 8. Cloudfin Raptor makes our Gust of Winds better. We don't have a high creature counts. Oh, we do. We have 15. Never mind. We should say we don't have a high creature count, so we're kind of bad at evolving it, but then we do. All you really need to make evolving the Cloudfin Raptor good is just some creatures with 3 power or 3 toughness, because if you can just evolve the Cloudfin Raptor like twice, you're good. We can kind of do that. Sorry, 2 power or 3 toughness. So because our 4-drops are like 1/3s, we can definitely get the Raptor up to that 2/3 stat line that makes it really good for its mana cost. Pick 10. I guess Return Centaur Self-Mill's kind of cute, but it's not actually good. 1, 2... I just don't have enough flyers for all these Gust of Winds. Might even just cut the first ones. Hold down the Alt key here, rare draft something I don't have yet. Okay, well here we actually do need the Golgari Guildgate. And our double Woodland Wanderer should be a pretty easy splash now. We have 5 green sources if I put a single forest in the deck. Okay, let us put... Okay, it's already got 1 forest in there. Never mind. Let us cut 5 cards here and just run these Selene Visions as additional lands to more consistently make it to the 4, 5, 6 drops on curve, but still just cast them if we top deck them later. What do we cut? Maybe Archaeomancers, maybe Naiad, maybe Gust of Wind. Some of the random flying synergy nonsense. Maybe the Bane, 7 mana. Still have 2 6-drop finishers in here. Yeah, 5 cuts. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. Seems fine. Graveyard from a library. It's not like we're like milling anybody or anything. Might be better to play 2 Archaeomancer over Dreadhound, but I just feel like our efficient removal count is still so low that the Archaeomancers are not the be-all end-all like Possessed Scab is. Because the Possessed Scab can always pick up like an Archaeologist or Disciple or something that died earlier. But the Archaeomancers are just really going to work with just Ultimate Price and Cruelty and Read the Bones. There's only like 5 cards for those. Yeah, I'm not going to cut Dreadhound for like another Archaeomancer here. We'll run the deck like this. So it's like a perfectly reasonable blue-black control deck, splashing a tinge of green for some great win conditions with some Woodland Wanderers. Super fine deck here. Not a super spicy or super powerful one for our first attempt at the Devotion bonus sheet stuff, but I think we ended up in a fine spot here. We've got a fine, super reasonable deck that should be able to get us an average like 4-3 run. Fingers crossed. We'll see how it plays out as we hop into the gameplay. All right, here we are on the play for game 1 with 0 blue mana. This is almost definitely a mulligan. Double Wanderer is cute if I'm really lucky and hit the lands, but could really die fast if we don't. So I'm going to take the mulligan here. Not like this arena. That might be a forced mulligan. I mean, I'm like a 19 land deck because I have double Selene Visions, and if we hit 1 land, we read the bones toward the right mana. So I'll actually keep this one. Get rid of the 5-drop. I am not appeased, Shuffler. My mana base should be much more consistent than this on average, hopefully. Cutthroat might be worth just the Cruelty immediately, but I'm going to make sure I keep hitting land drops by casting this Read the Bones, and there you go. Alright, well, check out my hand. Luckily, this is a pretty bad matchup for Lifebane Zombie. We don't have any green or white creatures in this deck, and I have black cards that can actually block and trade with that around the Intimidate ability. So let me pick the best card out of your worst 2 and make you discard it. Wow. I'm going to make them discard an Extricator of Sin because an 8-drop is not going to be castable for a very, very long time. Whereas if I discard it, they could reanimate it with something like the Rescue from the Underworld. Oof, they had the removal for the Disciple here. This is going to be painful. I've got the Cruelty for the Lifebane Zombie, and then I can also gain 2 this turn. Or play the 2-1 to trade into Cutthroat. Yeah. No, I wanted you to attack both. I don't want to deal with Zulaport Cutthroat. But I can with Archaeomancer. Once we have 7 mana, I can do it all in one turn as well. Cartel Aristocrat's pretty spooky. Let's load up this graveyard for our treasure cruise. Oh, I should have gone blue for Archaeomancer. That was a little sketchy. I could cruise right now if I exile my whole grave, but then I can't pick up Cruelty with Archaeomancer later, so I'm going to hold off on that. Get another Skirmisher down, gain the Disciple life, then I can exile Disciple from grave and have more untapped mana towards cruise, saving the Obnixus's Cruelty for later. We are going to need that treasure cruise to hit another blue source, though, because I chose to get the green in case we hit a Woodland Wanderer. It's kind of a bold choice, but we're not under a ton of pressure, so we're probably fine. Okay, definitely not under a ton of pressure. We've got the ultimate price as well. Yeah, let's just keep Obnixus's Cruelty engraved here. Still. Pay the rest. Now, any untapped land I get, I can still hold up ultimate price. No land at all. Well, Solemnity Vision. That is the second blue. That's important. We'll play that as land instead of holding it. Dreadhound could be pretty spicy in this matchup. If they do all their sacrifice shenanigans, make them lose life every time. Speaking of sacrifice shenanigans, there's Extricator of Sin. Sacrifice the Aristocrat to make a 3/2, which I can just trade a Skirmisher into, so we are still looking perfectly fine. I have a mana off from Dreadhound and something else. I could Gorgon and then evolve the Gorgon next turn, and I have the ultimate price up. I really need the ultimate price up, though, so I'll just run out the Archaeologist and draw the card here. Ooh, it's a treasure cruise. Let's go. Value for days. Imperious Oligarch. That is a nice sacrifice card. They hit Delirium. Just pop a Zulaport Cutthroat of all things. Sure. Just get the value off the Gorgon before they potentially draw some kind of removal for it. They don't have 6 power over there. And the 2/1s already hold off their other creatures. Oh, I hate this card. Pioneer Masters definitely comes out and shows us all why they stopped printing protection. I can't do anything about that. I can chump block it turn over turn and watch them gain 4 a turn until they get to 30 life and then die to a 10/10 in the sky that I can't target with any of my removal. But that's literally just like, oops, I lose. If I ultimate price my Gorgon and then draw it, no, because the Gorgon's also a black card. Jesus Christ. So I just need to make sure I have enough blue power on the board that they can't attack with that. If I pick up a Woodland Wanderer, that'd work. Dreadhound plus Treasure Cruise. Try to hit our guy that can pick up creatures from the grave. Oh, I do need to exile one more card still. Shoot. Alright, well I guess I exile the first Treasure Cruise because I can just pick up this one. If I need to pick up a Treasure Cruise. Yeah, I mean, my best plan to beat this card is to stop it from attacking, but then I still can't attack into it. I genuinely just don't think I can beat Blood Baron of Viscopa because I'm a black deck. Maybe I can outrace them in the sky, but they're going to cast Ashen Rider next turn, maybe? There's a Possessed Scab. I need to hit Essence Scatter now. Have I exiled that already? No. There's an Essence Scatter somewhere in these 9. I need to scatter this Ashen Rider. Not Essence Scatter. Oh wait, I don't have Essence Scatter in this deck. I'm getting mixed up with another one. So I can't do anything about the Ashen Rider. I mean, I can Obelisk's Cruelty that, at least. They exile one of my cards. And then I Cruelty that. And I just end up milling out here. Because they can't get through the Blood Baron. If we keep them low enough on life that the Blood Baron is not flying, maybe a few Sphinximagosi swings can do it for us. So probably Ashen Rider this Woodland Wanderer. I exile the Ashen Rider. I play Sphinximagosi, hit for 2 in the sky, then start hitting for 8 in the sky each swing. That's a 3-turn kill, except that they have some lifelink on the board if they attack in with Blood Baron and offer the trade-off. Dreadhound is the choice. Sure. I could ultimate price that so my one piece of graveyard recursion could maybe pick it up, but I just don't think that's a thing. That's another flyer. Oh my god, that's another flyer. I'm gonna take some damage to my face for this. I don't think there's a way to order this to have this evolve. Wait, no. Yeah, no, this... I evolve, then I get a 5/5, then I evolve again, right? Perfect. Yeah, no, there is a way to order it. Oh my god. We flyer our way through the Blood Baron? I was considering scooping. I was like, I don't think there's genuinely any way, but then I was like, okay, maybe over time we can get the flying damage if we just hold the Viscopa off attacks. That over time has ended up being potentially really quickly here. Just hitting every flyer in the deck. Cloudfin Raptor all the way to 4/5 stats. We break through the card that I had considered unbeatable for our deck. It's almost unbeatable. But if you've got the power on board in non-black creatures to stop it from attacking you, then eventually maybe break through with flyers, and we absolutely did there. Very surprising ending to me. And we are 1-0 heading into game 2. All right, well, it's another double Woodland Wanderer hand with no green, but we can read the bones towards it. Actually, I think our first Woodland Wanderer hand might have had green. It just only had 2 lands and no blue with a bunch of cheap blue spells. This one has some potential. I don't think I'm gonna run out Salinity Vision tapped here, because I'm specifically Read the Bonesing to scry into more lands. So I'm already trying to hit more mana here, and this would just be another land into the hand that way. So I'm going to keep it as a spell for now, because our curve might just stop at 4 for a little while. Okay, if I have double vision, it would have been fine to play one of them. Green mana, please. And now I think I can just ditch this swamp, because if I don't hit green mana, I can just play a tapped vision next turn as my land anyway. There we go. Evolving Wilds will be the land next turn, holding up Cruelty if we need to cast it, and if we don't, cast one of our visions. There's District Guide. Our opponent is curving out a bit on us. 2-drop creature, 3-drop creature. Just going to be 4 damage next turn, but still definitely a bit threatening. Now I can just Guildgate instead of Evolving Wilds. Yeah, so I could Evolving Wilds for blue, for my double blue cards. We'll hold on to the wilds here. Play a 4-mana 4/4 trample, please, so I can cruelty that. That's a 1/1. I don't want to cruelty any of these cards. Alright, awkward. Salinity Vision it is. Okay. Double blue. Got 4 black and 2 blue. Sure, I'll get a 3rd blue. Nice. Woodland Wanderer works as the roadblock. They did not have removal declared a 5/5 here. Out of their green-red deck. Hold up. I can cast Cruelty and Vision, or just Woodland Wanderer. I'm gonna go Cruelty and Vision here. I guess they could block with everybody, and then I'll cast Wanderer if they do that. Cool. Coom Warrior, hello 4/5. And we'll say goodbye with a Cruelty. Oh, I should have done that before they triggered Boundary Lands Ranger. I forgot about that ability. We're about to hit a giant chunk of instants and sorceries now that we just dug 12 cards deep and found 1. Well, I guess this deck just has a lot less instants and sorceries than I remember. Or just than I thought. We have like 7 or 8. No, we have 2 treasure cruise as well, so we've got 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9? Still a little low. Ah, flood. I see. May I eat your tutus? Combat trick. I'm perfectly happy to eat a wild slash. At 8 life, clearing out a wild slash is reasonable. Uh-oh. If they heroic that, it's going to be like a 20-20. With all this flood. No, they heroiced it. Oh, no. Well, it's only a 4-4, and I've got the second 5-5 to cast. I've also got a 6-6 in hand. They're playing off the top here. Ooh, no untapped mana? Alright. I wanted to Dreadhound plus Skirmisher there. But no untapped mana, I think I just do this. But I have no more green spells in the deck. I definitely should have played Dimir over Simic. Not that it matters, I've got more than enough blue and black, but technically in a very corner case it could matter. Oh, their card in hand is good. The top deck is good. Oh, another flyer. Oh god, no. Okay, 1 mana Treasure Cruise is going to be legit. A Dreadhound first. 3 creatures. All right. Ping, ping, ping. Doo-doo-doo. They go to 6. They're playing off the top, but the Boundary Lands Ranger gives them another draw. It just enters graveyard, right? A creature dies or a creature's put into a graveyard from your library. Yeah, it's worse than Sir Conrad. Sir Conrad would trigger when you exile creatures from your grave as well. 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, discard a card, draw a card. Attack with the 2 flyers. I have to play my own flyer. 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, unless I had 12 mana to play and activate the Gorgon, which I don't. Three attackers on the ground. And they have to block these, though. So that lowers the amount of attackers coming back at me. Sure. I probably should not have played Sphinx and Magosi, because then they might have played in a way where they were banking on lethal me in the sky on the crackback. But now they know they can't lethal me in the sky on the crackback. I just got overexcited. Can they kill my Sphinx, or are they dead? Or can they ping me for 1? No, the Boon Satyr. Oh, we were so dead. Ah, Close game of Magic there, but we are 1-1 heading into game 3. All right, here we are for game 3. Opponents on the play for this one. Start with their tap land, Balagate Sanctuary. It's a Solemnity Vision. But again, I'm reading the bones in towards green. So just towards lands, period. Heliod's Pilgrim. Finds Audacity. Just gonna make a spooky Pilgrim, then I can trade into it on blocks. Okay, Dimir Guildgate is still good to hit land for turn. Got the Solemnity Vision too, you know what? I keep both these. We're just gonna have to wait on Woodland Wanderer. Extricator of Sin. Sack the Pilgrim to get a 3/2. Now that I hit the untapped land, I can go for Solemnity Vision this turn, and then untap land Priest next turn. Yeah, play your weird heroic combat trick thing. None. It's a good trade for me. Another Heliod's Pilgrim, sure. Finds compulsory rest. So now they compulsory the 5/5 flyer. That I can disciple for 4 cards of choice. Or I can just Archaeomancer back, read the bones. Keep them off compulsory for now. Good Treasure Cruise, 3 cards in grave. 1 power on their board. Can exile 2 from the grave and be happy, which is not enough to Treasure Cruise, and I don't want to exile a Skirmisher. I feel like I'd also rather Archaeomancer Cruelty. So I just Disciple for 2. They're stuck on mana here, so it's not like there's anything they can reveal that is super expendable. It's going to be all spells over there. Savage Punch, compulsory rest. So I'll get rid of the Savage Punch, because later in the game when they do have like solid creatures on board, I'd rather be able to sack mine and gain life than just have it die. A revealed Savage Punch, we can play around though with the cruelty, but it'll slow us down a lot to do that. Possess Scab? More ways to pick up the removal. Audacity triggers when it goes to grave, right? Yeah, so they draw the card even if I exile what Audacity is on. Oh, boy. I'm gonna cruelty the token producer before they produce any tokens with it. Another Extricator of Sin to sack the Audacity, draw a card, make a 3/2. It's pretty sick. Gets an enchantment engraved towards Delirium as well. It is quite the thing. Okay, Double Disciple's also really fun. They have Enchantment, Sorcery, Creature, Engrave. Well, if I pick the land and they have Delirium, play a Knightly Valor next turn, that'll be kind of gross, but I can do some chumps until I find more removal. So we just get rid of the trample thing. I think that's the most important part. Secure the wastes for 0 to flip both the extricators. Alright, that's pretty sick. It's quite bad. Now the whole board is Vigilance, and it's all big enough to attack the Disciples and force trumps. Secure the Wastes, a card so busted that casting it for literally nothing will still win the game. Cast it for X equals 0 and still die. Yeah, I can't beat all this power now. Actually, just missing a lot of lands in the late game. It's costing me... They've missed a lot of lands as well, but they're way more aggressive than us, so it's a little less important. Yeah, I can't cast enough blockers and removal. Alright. So we've also got a compulsory to clear out another blocker. We are 1-2 heading into game 4. Alright, here we are for game number 4. We have pretty solid hand, some really efficient removal and stuff, but it can still get steamrolled by an aggro deck on the play, as any hand can. So hopefully they do not have the full curve out. Boros Shenanigans curve out coming in hard so far. Crusader into Witch's Mark, swing 3 damage immediately. Clear the Crusader out before they can shelter it or anything. Let's see what they've got here. Still got tons of efficient removal and a creature there to trade off. So they're still going to need really solid follow-through. Mention the Meek could be gross. Drawing them a bunch of cards throughout this game. Just ultimate price that as well. Phalanx Leader. Just gonna keep killing everybody. Try to strand their combat tricks and stuff from targeting a really good heroic card like the Phalanx Leader. Well, still have a Hero Viroas. Still have 2 Hero Viroas. Alright. They're down to 1 card in hand now. Here's the Double Skirmisher for blocks. And here's Blue Source 3 for Sphinx. So any untapped land casts it. Be ready to get steamrolled by the multi-combat trick here, I bet. Yep. That's pretty much exactly what I expected here, where this is by far our best block. If we block the other 2, then we just lose both creatures for nothing. There's the 3rd Hero Viroas and a Needle Spires they can activate. And there's literally just no counterplay to this. We're just dead, no matter how we cast the spells that we've acquired this game. I can try to draw another 2-mana removal spell, but I already used all my ultimate prices, so there's literally nothing I can draw into here. Might as well see what we had coming. Classic. Alright, well, 1 and 3, and that is all it takes. Just the stone cold unbeatable curve out from Boros will knock us out of this draft at 1 and 3 with this deck. That's a rough one. Again, I don't think this deck is excellent. It's just a fine, pretty average Dimir control deck. The splash for the Wanderers is more cute than anything. You could really replace these with any other kind of win conditions. I think the biggest issue that this deck has is the lack of efficient removal. We have 2 ultimate price and Anomalous Cruelty, and those are all great. But we do really want like twice as much removal, ideally. Another copy or 2 of Cruelties, maybe splashing red for a couple Dreadbores instead of Wanderers, and then replace those with some more solid 4-5 drop finishy stuff. But we might have enough finishy stuff without the Wanderers, honestly, with Dreadhound, Sphinx, Gorgon, stuff like that. Yeah, perhaps the red splash over the green splash was the safer, stronger place to be. This was kind of the cuter one, getting both the Wanderers. Just panned out pretty rough for us with those matchups. 1 and 3 is going to be the record this draft, but that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed this and you're interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more on your recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. And other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.